Today we're at the Cereza project and we're talking basement drainage and how we can't do on this project what we do on every other project. I'm Dave Edwards with Earthbound Homes.
And I'm Brett.
And let's take it away. We're standing in the light well, or what is to be the light well of the Cereza project. And the light well, if you don't remember, is a way for people that live in bedrooms in the basements to get out in case there's a fire without having to run through the house to get out. So there's a door right in front of us that leads to the light well, and then there'll be a ladder on this concrete wall that allows that person to get out in case the rest of the house is on fire. Now, light wells have to be open to the exterior, which means that they can't have a roof and are going to get water in them. So water is going to collect in rainstorms and fill these drains. Now, this project is a very unique project for us, Brett, because in this city, we're not allowed to get rid of the water by basically shoveling it into the storm drain system. So what do we have to do here? First of all, where does the water that falls here go?
So the water that's going to fall in this light well goes into a drain here, and we have a secondary drain over here. All the water is sloped to those drains. It goes down these drains, and then it has to, at grade, slope to the end of the house, slope over to the side of the house, and slope into another pump that we have over buried in the soil over there. That's going to be 16, 20 feet deep.
And then where does that water go once it's pumped out of there?
Then that particular one, the one we're talking about for this drain, will pump out to a couple gardens and be dispersed in those gardens in the front yard. It won't go out into the city water.
Okay. Now, we also know that normally what we're going to do is we're going to put a really robust drainage system around the perimeter of our basement so that any water that comes in is going to get caught in that drainage system, drop to the bottom of the slab of the basement, and then get pumped out and pumped somewhere on the property. But we can't do that here.
No, we can't. So one thing that really was helpful with this house is the water table in this area is well below us. So the water won't be stagnant on the walls all the time. It'll only be during those rain seasons. Because we're using that pumice around there, it'll drain all the way around the house and be equal, but it won't build up too heavy over time.
But we can't pump it out. So it just stays in these pits until it percolates into the ground and goes away.
That's right.
Why can't we pump it out like we do on every other project?
Because if we pumped it out, we can't pump it out into the city street. That's not allowed in this area. The only place we could pump it out is into the yard, and we already have areas that are doing that. All the roof drainage from both these, we have an ADU in the back and the main home will go into the yard.
And so this area is renowned for having a fairly high water table. And that high water table, if you were to take all this water from so water table means that in the ground you have essentially an underground river. And it could be above the bottom of this slab. And so what happens is if we have this underground river and we pump all the water, we're continuing to pump water out. And then we're just distributing it on the property. And these lots are, 8 or 10,000 square feet. So there's not a lot of places for that water to go. And it's just going to go right down into the underwater. So we're going to be continually pumping water forever.
Yes.
And we're going to be burning energy, and we're really not going to be taking the hydrostatic load, the water load of the basement off of the basement.
Right.
So we're building a basement that is even more bomb-proof than we did at Jake's house.
Sure.
So what are we doing here that we didn't do at Jake's house because we had a really, really robust drainage system?
The exterior of this foundation is going to be sealed. You're basically standing in a giant swimming pool. It won't leak. It won't.
Reverse swimming pool.
Reverse swimming pool.
Okay.
No water will get in this building because of the way we have to waterproof.
So at Jake's house, we had a really robust waterproofing system, but we also had drainage, and we had the ability of the water, any water that came into that basement, to drop down, get shunted away from the basement into a giant pumping pit, and then get driven out to other parts of the lot where it wouldn't come back into the basement. Here we can't do that. The city won't allow us to do that because we have this kind of continuous circle of water. So what do we have to do to the concrete to make it so that even if the water got through the waterproofing, it couldn't get into the basement?
So we put an additive in the concrete for this particular project called Zypex that won't allow the water to get through the concrete. We also have waterproofing on the exterior of the foundation, so it is double protected.
Okay. And that Zypex is actually really expensive. So adding Zypex to a cubic yard of concrete is like 20% of the cost of a cubic yard of concrete. So it's not a small amount. So we're not going to put it on all projects that already have multiple layers of robust waterproofing. If you're interested in learning more about making sure your house never leaks, about building science, or building a better way, hit subscribe as we show you how to build a better way. And did we add anything to the concrete to make sure that even if the water got through our waterproofing, our essentially bomb-proof waterproofing, it could never get into the inside of the foundation or inside of the basement?
Yeah, we did. I don't know what that stuff's called. You put me in a hole, buddy. Sorry.
Zypex.
Zypex, that's right.